Hey everybody, it's Suburban Bicycle Gang. We're back with another podcast. Welcome Dave Fox.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm Jerry Gray. We're going to get going here on Steely Dan's debut album, Can't Buy a Thrill, 1972, Dave.
Yeah, that's what you were saying, 1972. A good year, a good vintage.
Yes, a good year. But yeah, we're going to take some time and listen to the album and give our thoughts on it.
Right.
And, you can check us out at suburbanbicyclegang.com.
Mm-hmm. Or there's the YouTube channel, which is also searchable on YouTube.
There you go. All right, so we're going to start playing this album here.
Yeah.
We got a classic right away.
Oh, yeah. Well, this album is, I guess it was critically, good and both good and bad reviews for this album.
Oh, okay. At the time?
At the time when it came out. But I guess the consensus is just based on reading your basic internet articles, it's got some hits on it and then some deeper cuts, but mainly it's known for the hits.
Yeah.
More so than anything else. It's not considered to be their best album, so they say.
Well, man, what a song to start with, though. I mean,
yeah.
This is like the last album we listened to, right?
That kickoff, the debut song, right?
Yeah.
I think there's you can't really I can't really complain too much about this album in terms of a lot of things, right? Like the songwriting, the production, the guitar solos, the instrumentation, the arranging, everything's pretty much on point. And you know what's weird about it is that for this to be someone's first album,
yeah,
it's kind of freakish almost.
Yeah, it sure is. Yeah, it's really impressive. And again, just listen to that groove going there.
It's so solid.
Yeah.
Because this, I guess, the thing I don't really know about Steely Dan was the lead up to this. Was it completely out of left field? Did anybody know this was a band that was going to come out with something?
Yeah.
I don't really know the story of where they came from in terms of previous bands that might have led to this band or anything.
Yeah, I don't know their history at all. I've just recently started listening to Steely Dan, so I've been, I know this song. Everybody knows the hits.
The radio songs.
Yeah, getting into it, though, they're a really impressive unit, like a duo. Is it just it's a duo?
Well, I think they've always been. I'm not sure, but they've always had auxiliary band members, and in the studio, I guess they just tap whoever they need to come in and do things. But I guess the two of them made most of the decisions. Okay. And then this album, we're saying off the air, how it's this guy that it's not the other guy. It's this singer guy who I don't even know what his name is. What's this guy's name?
I have no idea.
Quick, Google it.
I mean, I'm looking at.
You have to get the entry of this particular album, because that actually made sense because these are songs that I don't necessarily, when I hear them, it takes me a second to think, oh, it's Steely Dan, because even Reelin' in the Years, I don't it's not the same guy's voice, so there's a bit of a disassociation between that song to me and this band, sort of, even though it is this band.
Now Wikipedia has it as, it's interesting. Okay. Members Donald Fagen, but past members,
right?
Well,
because that guy's dead.
Oh, is he? Walter?
Yeah, he died last year, maybe.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, so he's more recently deceased, and then the other guys, I think they're just past members, and that they literally were in the band and no longer are. I don't know. This is probably a bit of a confusing entry in that sense of one of the main guy, the other guy died, and so
oh wow,
now it's who's in the band? Is there even a band? It's one of those things where Wikipedia, as soon as you die, it's was used to.
Yeah. Right.
Immediately, it's someone updates it.
This is pretty interesting. So we were wondering about their past and that, and I guess they began playing, in local groups and that.
Right.
One being the Don Fagen Jazz Trio.
Right.
Also, the Leather Canary. It included Chevy Chase on drums.
Oh my god!
Which I bet a lot of people know and are like, you guys are.
It's like, what are you idiots? You don't know any. Like, yeah. If someone who knows the band will look this up, they'll be like, you didn't know that? You know, right? Chevy Chase was in the Leather Canary.
And we just talked over like an amazing solo there.
Yeah.
I mean, this band is so tight.
That's the thing I think that people know about this band is like, you're gonna get a tight performance.
But they were known for their live performance as well, being as good.
I think that's the thing. They're kind of like, in a way, they're kind of like Rush in the sense of they don't fuck up too much. You know, like they just. It would be odd if one of these like prodigy musicians fucked up.
Right.
I guess. That's at least my impression, is that they're known that way, but I don't know if they like. Actually, just because you know how Neil Peart died, and so I was like randomly looking up clips of Rush, and I came across this sort of a vein of videos that was people pointing out Rush blunders on stage.
Oh, no way.
So it'd be like Alex Lifeson makes a mistake, Neil Peart, actually it was more like Alex, but so it's for a band who's known to be super tight.
Yeah.
And then someone makes a mistake, it's like, oh, like someone's taking like a note out,
notepad, and
that's write it down. Right?
Man.
It's kind of a little too...
I would hate that world.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, they're kind of known as sort of... I think it's because the association with with jazz.
That right there is the end of the first song.
That's that one, yeah. And that's like, really like crazy impressive first song to have on an album. And then another classic right away.
I like this song.
Where,
really dig that.
I'm sure that's been this is constantly on the radio, or I think it's a single, right? Is it not?
Oh, no idea.
I feel like it is because it's so like familiar.
This has got to be one. Everybody knows this song. Yeah. So this same guy singing?
I guess. I mean, I think he did all the singing on that album.
Really?
Maybe look him up and see what his name is, because I forget.
I don't see nothing.
Just type in Steely Dan original singer.
Huh.
Like, this is a really transparent podcast in that if we don't know, we're going to Google it. Right.
Oh, yeah, Dirty Work was on the...
Oh, it was a single?
Yep.
Well, that would make sense.
Sung by David Palmer.
David Palmer. Interesting. So maybe click on him, see what his story is.
David Palmer.
What's he known for?
1964 to 2002.
Okay.
He's,
Wait, is that when he died, or is that just like...
Years active.
Does that mean actively alive?
I don't know. Can't Buy a Thrill, he's on there for sure.
Yeah, what is it? So that just goes to the album, but like, go back to his entry again.
I like his vocals.
He's got total like he sounds a bit like I don't know if you know Arthur Lee from Love.
Oh yeah. Okay.
He sounds like he's got the classic, like almost psychedelic rock voice.
Yeah, it's like a folky sound going on.
A little folky, little jazzy, little just real smooth, kind of like.
The keys are amazing.
Right.
The horns, been great.
Yeah, I wonder if they knew Love, because like Love is a band that I might pull one of their albums for like the podcast at some point, because I do really like that band. But it sort of reminds me a little, not with the saxophone and stuff, but like just there's just a certain group of musicians at that time who made this kind of like completely music using like every sort of angle they can. Like they'll pull out horns, they'll pull out whatever, different kinds of organs and things like that.
Well, it sounds like this guy, he did a couple songs. He did backing vocals on Reeling in the Years. Oh. And he sings this song.
Oh, so he didn't sing every song?
No, and they just parted ways, seems.
Wait, who sang the first song?
Faggot.
He did?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm an idiot.
You're
then.
spreading lies here, Dave.
Spreading lies. It's like people just like trying to spread the love, but just accumulating hate online for like mislabeling who sings what, and not knowing. It's like, obviously I'm not enough of a fanboy to know the difference.
There you go.
It's like, know your facts, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think of this song? Kings.
I like how every song has a different groove.
So far, yeah.
And it's just, it's interesting just how they approach every song. Like, it's not like it sounds like it sounds like the same band, but with a different approach to each song. It's like, it's kind of like just this assortment of different, you like this, you don't like that, you don't like this one, how about this one, how about this one, like,
yeah, I can appreciate that.
Yeah, the variety.
Yeah,
absolutely. That people kind of, even today, like, variety's not like considered to be necessarily a good thing to have as a musician or recording artist.
Right. Yeah. Kind of stick to what you know.
Yeah. Don't. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Like the
poor Taylor Swift.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, so new Pearl Jam single, right, drops yesterday.
Oh, okay.
And to tie it in, it's like, it's like was not an unexpected single. Like, people are like, oh, this is different, right? And and so it's like kind of getting back to the, like, can a band do something a little different, like that uses like a drum loop kind of on it?
Oh, okay.
Like a drum loop on a Pearl Jam song, right?
Wow.
So, and some synthesizers.
Wow.
So it's like, kind of going back to this in a way, because, certain bands that just did whatever they wanted to do.
Yeah.
Other bands almost, like, if you lay it, like, okay, here's my theory as of right now. It's like, the theory is, if you lay out immediately that you can do whatever you want, people will never quite, like, they're not going to fault you for doing something different later, because you didn't just do one thing and then totally change it to something else.
I got you.
So these guys are so broad, like Steely Dan, that they can get away with a lot more than...
First album, right? They're laying
album.
Down all these crazy things.
Yeah, like, there's some pretty, like, crazy solos on this album.
Yeah. I really like the percussion.
Right there.
Yeah.
Like, first album, whips out that solo. It's just like it's nothing.
Yeah.
Like, and, like, that's something I noticed about this album.
Really tight. Yeah.
Listening to it recently, it's like the fact that, the solos when they come in, what was that?
That was me coughing.
Oh,
that
really?
Big blip.
Oh, we're not editing this, so
no.
I might compress it a bit though.
Okay.
Yeah, like, the solos on the album are notably impressive. It's really hard to find, for me to criticize this album in any way, because the thing that you might criticize if you're gonna just pick fights or whatever is, like, it's a little too perfect almost. It's just
I'm kind of against that. I am.
Yeah. It's almost like that flawlessly executed, but then
Eagles shit.
But it also gets back to, like, well, you must just be a fuck up then. Like, it's like you're faulting a band that has basically no faults because you have many faults.
Yes.
And, like, that's not really fair to the band.
I don't want to blame it on myself.
Yeah, right. So you're just like, you'd rather drag people down to your level that are obviously superior.
I just like a bit of dirt,
A little bit of dirt.
You don't have to get crazy. Most of the greatest had a bit of dirt. Yeah?
That's true. I mean, but depending on the kind of music too, right? Where I guess as eclectic as this album is, it's also very sort of, carves a sort of niche for itself as being, like, jazzy progressive rock that is fairly clean. Because if they did something dirtier, they did something a little less perfect next time, you'd be like, okay, you can't do anything less perfect now. You have to, like, keep the standard super high.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
I mean, it sounds cool. I got no issues with that. I really like the recording of the percussion so far. I'm really enjoying that.
Yeah.
I kind of geek out on that.
Yeah, just like the groovy drum track.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty tight, and like everything's tight.
Yeah, it's really good.
And one thing I guess they said about it back in the day is that, this guy would approach songs in a way where he's being very facetious in some way, where he'd write something that's a little bit, because even this, the album cover and stuff, they kind of like, it's been, mocked, I guess, as being like a shitty album cover. It's just like, what is this crappy album cover?
Right.
And
yeah,
it's like a tacky ass cover, right?
Did you do that?
I could have done that. That's like something that it's just like almost like hideously, gaudy.
Yeah. But, just so here's a question: Did you know that band Boston?
Yeah, Boston.
Was that before or after this?
I thought it was after, but I don't know.
Is it bad that I get those kind of vibes off this?
I mean, do you not like Boston?
Not really.
How would you say it's similar to Boston?
I don't know.
Isn't Boston more of like an arena band?
Like these guys aren't? They didn't do any of that?
I don't know if they were specifically I guess maybe they were. I mean, I really don't have enough info to I don't know where they played or anything like that.
Wow.
But I guess it just shows my ignorance. It's like,
yeah.
how do you ignorantly speak of this band so much is the question that fans would have for.
Oh no, I mean I haven't listened to a lot of it.
Yeah,
I've listened to this album, but not. This is new to me. This band,
right?
And I like it.
Yeah. Would you put it on though?
I'm gonna say probably not.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
I just don't think this is. I wouldn't think of this.
Well, this kind of reminds me of Fleetwood Mac in a way, which is a band that I'm really big on.
Yeah, they're cool.
And they have a lot of albums in their whole repertoire. Some of them are really dirty. Some of them are more like this. They clean by the mid '70s. They're pretty clean.
After
once
Peter Green left, is it Peter?
Well, yeah, after he left, and then the next guy who was also an exceptional guitar player. The fuck's his name again? He was amazing. Actually, this stuff reminds me more of Bob Welch's stuff than any because Fleetwood Mac had this phase where they sounded just like this, kind of almost they if you put on because Bob Welch had 3 albums maybe that he was on, and they're all smooth jazz-ish. If you listen to Hypnotize or any of these Fleetwood Mac songs, were just so smooth, but so psychedelic almost, right? These guys are cleaner, I'd say.
I like this song,
but
this I would listen to.
Yeah. Well, at least they have 1 or 2 songs you might put on it voluntarily.
Yeah, I'm digging this.
But yeah, I kind of I'm more, into the sort of studio perfect.
I know you.
Progressive rock stuff. I can kind of stomach it a little more. Because the thing is, if you when you make music like this, it almost doesn't suit making it sloppy. If you make it sloppy, it's going to sound just bad.
The vocals sound really good.
I think this guy didn't want to sing or something. That's why I didn't think he sang on this album, but of course he obviously does. Because now I can just oh yeah, that's him.
Yeah, no doubt. Wow. So what? You know there's a solo coming.
Huh?
There's got to be a solo coming.
A guitar solo?
Yeah. I
haven't heard any drum solos. Does that bother you? No drum solos?
Yeah, it's kind of typical.
That there wouldn't be?
Yeah.
You think there should be?
No, only if... I don't know, I can't... I'm sure these guys could squeeze one in.
yeah, probably. Although, I don't know if they were known for their crazy drum solos or anything. They're not they're not Yes. They're not they're not prog to the Genesis style prog or You know, they're not King Crimson.
Yeah.
They're more like, you know, they're more in the like, we want to be on the radio.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Where it's like, this is so smooth, can you...
The guitar solo.
Yeah, right.
Sounds great, though. Really tight.
Yeah, it's good.
Great backing vocals. Again, the drums sound great.
Yeah, I wonder if we'll ever get a drum sound like this. Because the thing about, like, just to bring us up for a second, is like, we don't sound like this.
Sure we do. What are you talking about?
Could we ever?
I don't think. I don't know. I don't know if I want to do that.
Yeah. But I mean, this was a good time, for, like, you know, just to speak about the time. Oh, here we go.
Oh no.
Just to speak about the time period for a second.
Yeah.
1972 is a pretty good time in like musical history for bands that actually like classic albums and stuff.
For like rock bands.
For rock bands.
Yeah.
Or just even like, you know, probably like, when did Carole King, I don't know when that came
that
out.
would be in the 70s, I think.
But, or just a bunch that were like, Joni Mitchell was around this time, like releasing classics and stuff. So a lot of shit came out. Boston might have been a little later, I don't know. Well, the thing about the podcast is like, you know, you pick one and you gotta just go with it. Because we might come across an album that we picked that we really actually don't like.
Right, I know. This is pretty good, though. I mean, everybody knows this song. I'm kind of sick of this song. But, like, having, you know, kind of focused on it, doing this.
Yeah.
You know why it's all over the radio, right?
Yeah. I think this is the other guy.
Palmer did backing vocals.
Oh, he did backing vocals.
But this is still Donald.
Oh, yeah, you can just tell, like, with this part.
Yeah.
It's like
He's got a cool voice.
Yeah. But this gets into the whole, almost like the Geddy Lee thing, where it's like, some people can't handle Rush because of Geddy Lee.
Yeah. Well, because of his vocals.
Not because of him personally.
Yeah. Of he's a good bass player, too.
His unique... Right? Oh, he's a great... Like, I mean, his vocals are just
very unique. Yeah.
And so you either, like, hate them or like them, you know? And this guy might be sort of similar in that you might be like, I don't really like this guy's... His whole thing is, like, it's not... But in this case, it's about as smooth as it gets, you know? Like, it's very controlled. Like, I don't know... What could you really hate about his voice? You know? Here we go.
Everybody knows this.
Yeah.
Everybody.
I think in the back in the day when I first started making records, you know, like when I first recorded like a couple of records on my own, or like not just me, but like with old bands. Yeah. But like, I had a friend that would play guitar, and I always like. Whenever he did stuff like this, I'd be like, do more of that, like the little, like, tricky little, like, licks and stuff.
Yeah.
But there's usually the way guitar is, it's like you have a guy who can play the little noodly licks, and then you have the guy that can just sort of shred.
Yeah.
They're usually not the same guy, but sometimes I guess they are.
Hard to...
I think this might be the same guy, though. It's like he just, like...
He did all the guitar stuff. What's his name? Becker.
Becker, yeah. The bearded fella. As I recall.
Is it? I don't know.
I think he's a bearded fella.
Isn't that horrible?
What?
Should I have done some sort of research for this?
Well, I already ruined this whole thing by saying that this guy doesn't sing on this album. So, if anybody that likes this band listens to this, they're going to be like, oh my god, what an asshole. Holy shit.
Well, I mean...
Well, I guess admitting that I don't know a lot about them.
Yeah, now you know.
Yeah, now I know. That he's more present on this album than I thought he was, even though I listened to it.
We'll call it myths debunked.
Well, that's the thing about engaging with an audience is they, like, YouTube has a lot of haters on it, and they can come along and call me out on it and be like, okay, yeah, you're right. I didn't know. I fucked up, okay? Like, I'm not going to be the president of the fan club. I'm not... the most knowledgeable, because Steely Dan has a lot of stuff, and I didn't even realize this was the first album until I looked it up because we were doing this, right?
I guess they disbanded in 1981.
Did they?
Yeah,
but I think they came back.
Yeah, after like a decade. So
I don't know much about the inner politics of the band, like if it was like anybody hated anybody else, or
I'm sure
stuff like that, or if it was like they were difficult, or if they were just a bunch of nice guys that I don't know their personalities too well, but
well, here we are. We're at Fire in the Hole.
Good
there
title.
You go. It's like a drinking song, or
yeah.
That's cool.
Let's see. Let's take a second here. Shit. So that's Fagan on the keys.
Yes. I assume.
Oh, it's got to be. But I think the thing that I appreciate the most is if you just listen to it's the whole jazz thing is the influence of jazz is sort of just you make things up. It's improvised. And I definitely like try to do that myself, where if I come up with lyrics, I just come up with stuff, and if it sounds good, I just use it. And I don't really care if it's specifically too logical. And it sounds like this guy's the same way, where he just, one of those guys that just like sort of writes kind of poetry, and then half the people are kind of, they don't want to listen to it because they're like, what is the fuck is he saying?
Yeah.
Like, so when bands are cryptic like that on purpose, it's like,
it bothers you.
It bothers people. Not me, I like it, but I listened to a thing, just to go off on a total tangent. I listened to this. There's a dude on YouTube, maybe I can link him in the thing, but he talked about, he does a kind of a hit, like one hit, I don't know if he has a series, like one hit wonder retrospective or something.
Okay.
And so he did this, he did like an episode or whatever on like Flagpole Sitta. Okay. You know that song? It's like the Harvey Danger song.
Oh, okay.
You probably would know it. Everyone knows that song. Paranoia.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Whatever, but
that's enough.
But the thing is, he's like, the point. It all points back to this, because that dude again was like a very facetious. Like his whole song was like a kind of a post-ironic, post-grunge, just a facetious sort of writer.
Right.
And so, I think I'm not sure when, but at some point, music. The writing got a little bit ironic, and so people would write stuff almost just to be like motherfuckers kind of thing. Like they'd write some whacked out song, and then you'd be like, "What the hell is this about?" And you'd never know because they'd be like, "I'm not telling you."
Yeah.
Just like sit there with your glasses on, being like, "Haha," like this song is not about anything.
Yeah, I mean, you just take what you get out of the song.
It's the sort of hipster thing where you like, you're not being completely just like hard on your sleeve. You're being like, I'm not going to tell you anything.
Yeah.
I'm going to write some shit, and you're going to like misinterpret it, and that's too bad. I don't care.
I guess that's what I'm saying. You really can't misinterpret a song.
Like a song like this?
Just any song, really. I mean, you can. There's extremes, yes, but ultimately it comes down to however you see a song is right.
Yeah.
It's music. It's just take it.
Just sort of think about it, hear it, kind of process it, and then be like, okay. Either you like it or you don't.
Well, like there's that, what is it? Merle Haggard had the Okie from Muskogee, and that whole song he's full of shit.
Oh, yeah?
And it became like a huge hit.
Yeah.
When seeing the president and all this shit. I think that was in the 70s, actually.
Yeah, there we go.
Or late 60s. Anyways.
Yeah.
He was... he was making fun of it more than anything.
Yeah.
It became a hit.
Right.
So.
Right. I think a lot of people do that. Actually, sorry.
Well, just, you can be wrong.
Yeah.
But it's how you see the song, and that's ultimately is what matters.
But some people literally put things in the song that are not necessarily positive, or they might be, calling somebody out or something, right? And then people get offended, and so if you think you're the subject of some this guy's criticizing you, you might be like, I don't like this. Who's he talking about? Like, what the hell is he talking about?
Well, I mean, unless you know for sure, or know the person well enough to ask them.
Yeah, or they haven't admitted it, or maybe they have admitted it, right?
I've been asked that before.
Right. Like, who are you referring to? kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like, is that, I've been asked outright, is that song about me?
Yeah.
And I've had people say, kind of, actually, I've had someone pull me aside and kind of, whisper, hey, is that about such and such?
Oh, yeah.
And not at all, anytime.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, I think there's elements of everything, and, you go down a road and somebody can read anything into it.
Yeah, that's true.
I like doing that. So I guess it's kind of...
But it's like a risk or something because it's like character, attacking someone's character. And someone can hear something and be like, I'm sure that they're talking about this. And then they can get upset.
Yeah.
And it's...
Well, they have the right to be upset.
Well, not necessarily at you, but they...
At the song.
Well, but the thing is, they're just guessing. They don't even know. Right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, they're wrong, but...
Well, this gets into a whole bunch of things about, like, like Black Sabbath that writes a song, and then it's like, oh, suicide solution. Oh, you've made... Now, you're to blame for this suicide because you were encouraging it. Or, like, Marilyn Manson's like, oh, yeah, you want to, people blame people like that, and say like it's your fault. Well, that you told people basic, and then those people are like, no, I didn't tell them to do anything.
That's I think more a video game problem now.
Oh yeah, they blame the game for being too violent.
Yeah, I think the avenue for music is video games at this point. They're like throwing them onto like games, right?
Oh yeah. Like Grand Theft Auto, like soundtrack.
Yeah, all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
And it's, I don't know. Again, I just come down like, just like this song. This song's great.
Yeah, but yeah.
What's it called? Brooklyn. Oh, the charmer under me.
Yeah, see, I like the name of that song. It's like,
Yeah, you would, yeah.
Yeah, it's my kind of song.
But the last one was called Fire in the Hole.
Which I don't mind either, depending on like. But this one's more like title-wise. I like when people give a song a really weird name. Yes. And then the song has to like live up to it somehow. Like Steve Winwood has, 40,000 Headman, whatever it's called. There's some, look it up, there's a song called like 40,000, I forget what it's called. It's a long title, but it's just really weird.
We should do a Steve Winwood album.
Oh yeah, totally.
That guy's fantastic.
Yeah,
at least I like him.
He's like my favorite.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. He's one of my favorites, right? As far as like guys that just write songs and sing them and arrange them and put I really like.
Oh, listen to that.
I like that. Yeah.
That's up your alley.
Oh, that's my kind of thing right there.
Oh, a tambourine.
What was I gonna say though? Yeah, because how I loaned you that Stompin' Tom book.
Yes.
There's a sequel.
No.
That I didn't realize existed, and now I have it.
Oh wow! I gotta finish the first one.
Yeah, I did. Like I read that book, and I was like, "Is there a sequel?"
You wanted more.
Yeah, because it just stopped randomly at some point. Okay. And then you're like, "What the fuck?" And then I guess because I looked it up. Amazing. I looked it up, and there wasn't another. Like I couldn't find evidence of a second one. Right. And literally the other day, got the second one. It's like the continuation of the story.
Wow.
From him, he's like, "Oh, I'm picking up where I left off," or sort of thing.
There you go, from Steely Dan to Stompin' Tom.
But the point I was gonna make is, in his song about the Sudbury Saturday Night or something like that.
Yeah, that's great too.
But people don't like it because he taught. There's a company called Inco.
Yeah.
And he's like fuck Inco or something. Yeah. He doesn't say fuck them.
No, he's basically sticking to.
Yeah. But it's like, and then apparently, when he goes to Sudbury.
Yeah, they love him.
No, but certain people randomly give him shit.
Well, that's the problem. The way he got into town was like he'd drift on in.
Yeah.
Instead of being, so he's open to that kind of stuff a lot more, right?
Yeah.
But that also made him who he was. So he's amazing.
Well, there's a lot of stories about him that are that he tells about how difficult it all was, right? It was just not. He ran into a lot of problems, and he's very articulate at explaining who is responsible for being, not mean to him and stuff like that.
Right.
He's fair about it, but he also is it was this guy.
Well, his memory from
his memory is
four.
Uncomparable.
I was definitely doubting it at first. Anyways, great book, great read.
Yeah.
So far.
But to tie it back in with Steely Dan.
Yeah.
it sort of gets into the whole, writing lyrics that are a little bit confusing, and then or at some point he just drops in some line because it's so like kind of intellectual. I don't know, just like it's kind of like it's sort of like literate.
Are they known for their like?
They're known for their like verbosity.
Oh, okay.
So they're like he can drop being a band like that. You can drop in a line about somebody or something, and that person's like, "Hey, wait a second."
Yeah, they could definitely do that.
Like you just goes by and you're like, "Did he just call me out on some shit?" Like,
I mean, anybody could do it.
Yeah.
Really.
But some people like don't do it at all because it's just it goes away from being like getting everyone to like you.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like, so it's a weird dichotomy because you've got a really smooth band with some fairly wacky lyrics.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
were these guys like a cool band?
I think that's the idea, is that they're like the cool band, like the.
Oh really?
Yeah, I think that's the whole thing. It's like almost like a nerd, like almost like Rush in a way, where it's like for nerds of music.
Okay, so no, that's different. It's like, so we're just talking dudes then? This is like a dude's band?
I'm just making shit up, but yeah. I'd say yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
That's kind of my understanding. It's like Boston, man.
Feel like they have that Boston vibe?
I don't like Boston. No, these guys are better than that.
Well, we'll have to do a Boston album for this. We're down to...
We're last song here.
Is it the last one?
Yeah, Turn That Heartbeat Over Again.
Nice.
You like that?
I kind of like that.
Really?
Yeah, because I don't know...
This dropped January 1st, 1972.
Oh, wow.
There you go.
Happy New Year.
10 songs, 40 minutes, 50 seconds.
Say that again?
10 songs, 40 minutes, 50 seconds.
Wow. There's something very, like, even about it, right?
Yeah. Huh. I like this song. Again, like the drums, the drums are perfect on this album.
It makes me think I would play it if I knew how to play it.
Yeah.
It'd be fun to play.
Yeah. Definitely would be.
But it has that total, like, Doobie Brothers-ish.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's got that vibe going.
Yeah, like, you could just hear that, like, Michael McDonald guy stepping in and being like, it's like pre-disco, but it has a bit of, like, the disco feel to it somehow.
When disco come?
Like 70, like a later 70. Well, when did Saturday Night Fever come out?
Oh yeah, that's what we should do.
Yeah.
We should do the brothers.
Yeah.
Apparently there's a movie coming out. Anyways,
really?
Back to this. These guys are like the keyboards on this album. So good.
Yeah, yeah.
With the drums. And so that Walter Becker, he did bass as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So all guitars, bass, backing vocals are Walter Becker. That's a lot right there.
I don't hear any like crazy bass riffs though. I hear like pretty solid. It's like good bass playing, but not like overly flashy.
Yeah. He's just putting in what needs to be. It's kind of like the drums. The drums aren't any more than what it should be, right?
Yeah, there's no like
just good
crazy
controls.
fills.
Really good recording. I wonder if they produced it. Probably not. Not at that time. 70s, early 70s. There's not too many people doing their own.
I think usually the artists are somewhat involved in the process.
A lot more now.
Yeah.
Back then they were kind of.
I bet you they co-produced it. I'm just gonna guess.
Oh,
but I was wrong before.
Yeah, you were really horribly wrong. But
oh man,
I mean these things happen. So,
yeah, you gotta expose your ignorance sometime.
This is for sure. What am I even looking up?
You're looking up. Did they produce it or not? Who produced it? It sounds like they produced it in New York. Am I right? I'm just gonna make that up too.
Yeah, Greenwich Village.
Did they actually
started, and then yep, it was all New York. Yeah. I mean, you're going by the Brooklyn somewhere, right?
Oh right, true. Yeah.
It's
almost obvious.
Yeah, it doesn't. I don't really want to spend my time looking.
Yeah.
But, I mean, listen to that. That's cool.
It's cool.
It's really cool. It's kind of Stevie Wonder-ish sound.
Yeah, it's got that kind of organ-y thing going on.
No, yeah. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I'm not going to listen to it.
Yeah, you're not going to like put it on.
Yeah.
I totally would put this on.
Yeah?
Yeah, I could get into this.
I could do without that Reeling in the Years song in my life.
You've heard it enough times?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a good song. It's a great song. Great song. But
yeah, don't piss the fans off any more than they already are.
Ah.
Not that they're gonna be. But what if this gets 100K views? 100K Steely Dan fans being like,
that'd be great.
Who's that guy? That Jerry guy? Fuck that guy. It's like, what is he like again?
Well, that would not be the first time that would happen.
Just imagine 100K people just hating you.
I already have that. So.
Just brushing their teeth at night, thinking like.
No, but I mean, no question here. This is a good album. I see why it's so big and.
Well, that's like sort of a detached way of complimenting someone. It's like that. Theoretically, like I kind of like, I can see why people like it.
Well, because if I'm honest, it's just this. It never comes on, right, in my life.
Yeah, well, you don't really like put it on, so.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's just, and I'm not convinced to change that in my life. Even though it's great, and who am I to question?
Yeah, you're being very non-judgmental in some way. It's like it's great. I would never listen to it, but it's great.
Very non-judgmental.
It's got many elements that I appreciate, but I would never put it on.
Well, I'm being honest.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And the reasons again of why you would never just put this on are what again?
I just think I would listen to something else instead.
Just some like sleazy gutter trash kind of.
That's my kind of stuff.
You like that kind of thing?
Yeah.
Huh.
It is.
Well, I definitely give it.
Our friend.
Which friend?
Phil.
Oh, friend Phil.
Yes, he's got some good stuff coming out these days. I've been listening to his stuff.
Oh yeah, so why listen to Steely Dan when you can listen to Brother Phil?
Yes.
Yeah, he's got a few albums coming out for anyone that's stuck around this long in the podcast. Actually,
that's right. We should actually link that as well. His his YouTube or whatever.
Yeah.
People should listen to that.
People who like what should listen to that. Like what is it that he does that.
Well, he actually does a bit of everything with his covers and all that.
That's true.
So, and he's doing interviews and all that as well. So
yeah. So if a long-haired Steely Dan fan was sitting right in front of you, and you'd say because you tell him that Phil's an eclectic musician that they should check out because he's very got a little something.
A little something
for everybody.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that.
Okay, I guess the Steely Dan fan would just be like, all right, maybe I'll click that link.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'd be like, hey.
The funny thing is that, like, if a Steely Dan fan was listening,
yeah,
and then what about us? Do you think they'd even, pick up what we're putting down at all? Or?
Chances are they wouldn't.
Why? Because we are not good enough, like, musically, to be like on the level of these prog people. Is that why?
If that's what you want to go with.
Because we're just trashier people, or just.
Yeah, we're barely holding on here, like, clearly. So, I mean, who are we to judge this stuff? Other than ears. We have ears. We have 2 of them.
Yeah.
Together we have 4. And I think that they deserve the right to an opinion.
Yeah, you give an opinion. It's not even like you're judging it. You're just talking about it.
That's right.
Like
it's a really good album.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, you can see why they went on to be such huge stars or whatever, right?
Exactly. They don't need me listening to them.
They definitely don't need you.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So they don't need me. I don't need them.
But who picked this one? Did you not pick it?
I did.
And Yeah, why'd you pick this one again?
Because I didn't really know much about him.
Oh, now you know.
I don't know if I know. I think I would give other albums a listen.
Well, the plot twist is there might just be another album in the future of this podcast.
Really?
Because now I might be like, all right, got to go through the discography.
Well, yeah.
It might take years.
Yeah, if you want to do that, I'm sure people would love that.
They might. I mean, well, I don't know why were they listening anyway. Like,
the only people that would be Steely Dan fans, and they don't like us already.
Well, after the first 2 minutes,
the lies that you have spread.
Well, I guess the thing is they'd have to listen to the first lie and then listen for more lies just to see how many lies. They wouldn't get past the first lie. Like, what the fuck? This guy
has no idea what he's talking about.
Well, I could conveniently just edit it out.
No.
Like, I could just be like, it's
like a point of
sub
reference
in
for the rest of the podcast.
It's like, actually, he does sing on the album. I'll just say that, and then put it in the beginning. You can cut and paste with this stuff. It's.
Can it be somebody else's voice?
Yeah. Please. Yeah, I mean, but the process here is just to like finish it, and then upload it, and then just like suffer the consequences of it.
Yes, I agree.
And then if there's that one guy that's like, you're not that bad, then that's your one.
That's my mom.
That's your mom. Yeah. So I guess we'll wrap it up there. The music has stopped.
It's gone.
We're still talking. We're running out of words.
Yeah. No, actually, I mean, your overall assessment of that album, you think it's great, you love it, you're going to listen to it again?
I would listen to it, like, if I was in the right mood. I have to be in the right mood.
What's the right mood for Dave Fox?
I could be driving around listening to that. That might be a cruising kind of album, definitely.
Yeah.
That could be that could even be on in the background when I'm like, pouring the wine for the sweet little mama.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I feel like,
really, eh?
Yeah,
that's Steely Dan.
Yeah, I'd be like,
really?
Yeah, I'd be like, you like this? She'd be like,
no,
what is this?
No, I don't.
And I like that's Steely Dan.
She
like, what's Steely Dan? I'm like,
I'm sorry I asked.
Be like, I can't tell you what Steely Dan actually is because we talked about that before.
Oh.
Before the podcast.
Yeah,
people can look that up. It's pretty odd. I mean,
I'm not even sure I believe you on that anymore after those.
It's on Wikipedia.
You're not credible at all.
But I think that's like that. See, I like the band more now that I know where they got the name.
Yeah.
I just thought because when I first heard of the band like years ago, I was like Steely Dan.
I thought there was a guy named
Dan.
And somebody else's last name was Steely.
I just thought it was like. No, I just thought it was a guy named Steely Dan, like a nickname or something like that for a guy.
Right.
I'm like, oh, is this some guy like, just the word Dan, like the name Dan doesn't seem to belong in a band name to me.
Yeah, they seem to be, kind of an oddity.
Yeah.
In the musical realm.
Yeah, can you think of a band that has a person's name in it that's a guy's name that is any good? Bet you can.
Can't?
Bet you can.
Huh. That's a tough one.
I can't even think of another band like that.
Alice in Chains.
No, it's a girl's name.
That's good.
Alexis? No, that's a girl's name. Alexis on Fire, I was going to say.
Yeah, that's tough. I can't think of one.
Yeah, that's because... I don't know. But in retrospect, the name of the band, look up the reason. You can look it up. I'm not going to say it. It's too vulgar. Too vulgar for the airwaves.
But yeah, so there you have it. That's our little take on the classic album by Steely Dan.
Steely Dan, podcast number 2.
Yeah.
See if we end up doing a third podcast based on that. Based on the reaction on this podcast.
Oh, okay.
If anyone says to do another podcast, we will do one. But if no one says to do one, we're still going to do one. But
that's kind of what
But it'd be kind of cool if someone was like,
you
guys should do another one because that was cool.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if no one said anything.
Well, reach out. You can get us at suburbanbicyclegang.com. You can get us at... on YouTube. Obviously, if you're listening to this,
you can go on Facebook and find us on Facebook, and occasionally we're
kind of everywhere.
We're kind of everywhere and
this
nowhere.
Gang is everywhere. This gang is everywhere.
That's where That's where you like having your gangs.
That's right.
Is like right behind you.
Yeah, so you better watch out.
But we're like a happy gang. Are we a dangerous gang?
We
what are we gonna do? Like get out?
Yes.
You know what a garrote is?
What's a garrote?
A garrote's where like it's like that wire you like strangle people with.
Oh, is that what that's called?
Yeah, it's like
cool.
So if you're coming down an alley and I'm there with a garrote,
I'd take you out, man.
Not if you didn't see me. I'd just like come up behind you.
Yeah, that'd be
dead.
Awful.
You're dead.
Oh my God. Okay, so that's the end of this podcast. Thank you.
Good night.